Hello, I'm Gritsu. Today I will be drawing the characters of members from a Discord group as dragons. I gave them a Google form they could fill out with the type of dragon they wanted to be, any accessories that stand out, to upload a reference of their character, and if there's anything extra they would like to add to the design. Many of the characters are based on the characters they have in Final Fantasy XIV, so that's why you'll see a lot of reference photos from that game. The first 3 designs were made last year, the newest design being from my most recent form, where I asked my subscribers to submit their OC to be turned into a dragon. With that out of the way, let's begin. Dragon species. Long. Inspiration. My OC Karma Celadon. Extra note. None. I decided I wanted a dragon too, and drew my OC. I like long dragons, or slender dragons. I made him a long dragon. I've had this OC since around 2018. He is intelligent, but suffers from what I call dog brain. For example, he could see a squirrel and start chasing it out of instinct. He does a lot of dog-like things too. He's relaxed and likes to nap, even in the most uncomfortable looking spots. He goes with whatever. He doesn't really mind when people ask him for things, when he's not feeling like it, and start ignoring the person. He has been in multiple AUs over the years, like Final Fantasy XIV, My Little Pony, my own world, where he is a race of magical crystal beasts that can shapeshift to human and to a beast form. They get their magic from their crystals that are fused into their bodies. The crystals are prominent in their beast form. In human form they are hardly seen. In human form their eyes do still glow in the dark though. If you are interested in hearing more about my world, leave a comment and I'll make videos about my OCs and world. Enough about my OCs, back to the drawing. I struggled a lot for some reason. I made 2 drawings before this, but for some reason I couldn't draw him in a way that satisfied me. On the 3rd try I was happy enough with it, and continued with this one. In his wolf form he has a lot of fur, so I have to draw his dragon form, also very fluffy. After looking at it for a bit, when I was finished, I think the hairstyle on top of his head looks a bit weird. It kind of bothers me, but I'm too lazy to go back and change it. He'll just have a bad hair day during this drawing. Dragon species. Semi. Inspiration? None. Extra note? None. Semis have 3 heads. I was really struggling trying to think of a pose, including all 3 heads. I started with the middle one and then did the others. I wanted to draw a pile of cards, because this guy is into Magic the Gathering. I tried and I have no clue how to draw that. I ended up making a generic rock for him to wrap himself around. He summons the cards with his magical fire. I gave him big ears in reference to how his bunny boy looks in game. Every head has an extra horn. It goes 1, 2, 3. Why did I do that? I don't know. I wanted to give every head just the slightest difference from the others. The card he's admiring is his girlfriend. The design in episodes 1? 2? I don't remember. I'll have to look. Give it a watch after this video if you haven't yet. I feel like something is missing in this design. It feels a bit too empty. In the beginning I did try and give him his hairstyle, but it looked weird. So I removed it again. I feel like I could have given him some more interesting patterns and markings. It would have probably made the design look better. Dragon species. Amphitheater or Yinglong. Inspiration none. Extra note, keep my Casey earring. This guy absolutely loves the dungeon crawling side mode in Final Fantasy XIV, so I had to include some treasures to show him finding some treasures along the way of exploring. Almost every time he was online, he was doing a dungeon solo. He often helped others out who wanted to try it. You could say he was a pro dungeon crawler. He wanted me to include his greenish earring. I gave him some scars and a torn wing to show how battle hardened he is from spending so much time in the dungeons. I gave him antlers because I imagine him using it to hang extra items on he finds in the dungeons, like an accessory holder. I was unsure about the extra color for his antlers and the inside of his wings. I experimented a bit and ended up picking pink. It fits pretty well with the colors he already has. I often struggle with color theory, trying to find the right color that fits with the others without making it a big mess. It doesn't seem to come naturally to me, but I'm getting a bit better at it. Dragon species. Dragon. Inspiration? None. About OC? I don't really have anything to add. IG if you need more references or anything, you can check out her character page. I don't know if that helps. The extra note, I would prefer it to be rather moody / edgy. Preferably a black or the deepest night blue is fine too, dragon. And you may use NYX's color palette for accent colors, or really whatever you want. For the dragon's body shape, I would love it if she could be more skinny and agile. The horns are a must, and you can add other spikes if you feel like it. Pretty much up to you what you feel like adding. Thank you so much. I hope I don't sound too picky. For a more edgy look, I added spiky armor, like parts to the legs and tail. Think of it like a more armored part of the body. It's a lot tougher to get through. I had to lighten up the colors from the main reference, so the base colors would be easier to work with later on, so you can actually see the line art, since I used black as liner color. A quick tip for anyone who is interested and struggling to see their line art because they work with darker colors. Your base color does not need to be almost fully black. It limits how much you can shade. What I usually do is pick a dark grayish color. It doesn't need to be gray, you can add some saturation in the color you want it to be. Then for shading, to make it darker you go downwards at an angle like this. Up the saturation a bit. It now looks dark enough, but you can still see your line art. I picked a lighter blue for the bottom pattern to contrast the darker colors. I tried to stay close to the darker colors they wanted, but skipped out on black for the reasons I just explained. Sometimes I shade with the airbrush. I wasn't really feeling it today though. I have no idea what you would call this type of shading, where you jump to different shades instead of having a smooth gradient look like the airbrush does. It has grown on me and I'll occasionally shade like this. Normally I only use it for the eyes. It can make colors pop out. I didn't see the heart-shaped tail at first. When I was scrolling through more of their character references, I spotted it. I added it to the design. I think it still fits pretty well with what I already made, despite not having accounted for it while I was originally making the design. Dragon species. Any are fine, but I like wyverns and yinglongs. About OC, he's pretty reclusive, down to earth and sometimes a little awkward. He loves abstract expressionism and paints it himself as well. He's also a big fan of skiing. Extra note, I like fluff, so fur and feathers would be great, regardless of the dragon you pick. So with the notes they gave me, my first idea was an ice dragon, since the OC likes skiing. Then I thought maybe a painter, because he's into art, but I don't know, that just didn't feel too interesting to me. After that I started thinking about male birds, how they're always super vibrant with their colors. And I thought, yeah, that could actually work. I somehow wanted to incorporate it into the design to make it look more interesting. I ended up picking a wyvern for dragon, but instead of scales I made it look all feathery, like so many feathers that it just looks really soft. You've probably noticed in a lot of my designs I just really like adding fluffy features. To make it a bit more fun, I gave them some extra head wings, long whiskers and 2 really long tail-like feathers like certain birds have. If you've ever seen a bird of paradise, that's kind of what I was going for. The only problem was that the OC reference sheet doesn't really have a lot of bright colors. Well, not in the main design anyways. But the accessories actually had some nice pops of colors I could use for the wings. So in the end, he came out way more vibrant than he was in his reference sheet. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, so I'll let the owner of the OC decide what they think. That's all the dragon designs I've got for today. Which one was your favorite? If you didn't see your OC yet as a dragon, don't worry. I'll be making a part 4 somewhere in the future. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Have a great day, see you all next time.